Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Are you ready to make your mashed potatoes? Because I'm ready to share one of my favorite recipes with you. It's cheddar mashed potatoes. Start with 1.5 pounds of russet potatoes. Those are gonna yield some pretty fluffy mashed potatoes, I think. Peel them, cut the potatoes into cubes. It kind of doesn't matter how big they are, but the smaller they are, the less time it'll take to cook. But if they're too small, they'll absorb too much water. So let's say about 2 inches. Pot of water. The water should be cold when you start. I already have my water in the pot, but usually you put the potatoes in, then cover them with water. It needs to be covered by 2 inches. Don't forget to season. Bring it to a boil, and then cook it at like a pretty vigorous simmer until the potatoes are very tender. That'll take about 15 minutes. They are tender, they are done. Drain. Add 2/3 of a cup of milk. And the recipe only calls for 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. You can use 2 tablespoons. You could use a little more. I'm not gonna tell. Salt and pepper. And don't forget the cheddar cheese. If you want garlic cheddar mashed potatoes, throw 3 cloves of garlic in with the potatoes as they're cooking. You'll get a really nice mellow garlic flavor. It won't be overwhelming. It'll cook right in with the potatoes, and then you mash it right in there. You guys are gonna adore this cheddar mashed potatoes on your Thanksgiving table. If you're looking for a super easy yet kind of impressive side dish to make at the holidays, you couldn't do any better than scalloped potatoes. Very few ingredients, and everybody is gonna love it. You need to peel and very thinly slice 3 pounds of Yukon Gold potatoes. If your knife is very sharp, it works really well. I have a buttered 2-quart baking dish, and I'm gonna rub a little bit of garlic in it. You can leave it in the bottom of the pan if you want to. Then you can layer your potatoes in. I like to season each layer as I go along, so I'm gonna just add a little bit of salt here. Just a little bit. You're gonna add some salt to your cream mixture too, so don't overdo it. Note to self. The potatoes are all layered. Now I'm gonna make my cream mixture. 1 1/4 cups of heavy cream and 1 1/4 cups of whole milk. A teaspoon of coarse salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. Pour your cream and milk mixture on top of the potatoes. It's not gonna fully cover it, but it should come up to right underneath the top layer of potatoes. And then dot the top with 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Have your oven preheating to 350 degrees. Cover the dish, and then it needs to bake for an hour covered, and then uncover it and bake it until it's golden brown and bubbling about another 30 minutes. Whoa, guys, look at that. It's rich and delicious, but so easy, great for the holiday table. Today's recipe, Dutchess Potatoes, sounds really fancy, but it's really easy, and it's completely make ahead. You form them, you freeze them, and then you can bake them from frozen whenever you want to. I've just drained 2.5 pounds of Yukon Gold potatoes. The drained potatoes go back into the pot that they were cooked in, which should still be nice and hot. That actually continues helping them to dry out a little bit. Add 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, 1/4 cup of heavy cream. It's just a little bit, and this makes 8, so don't worry. A pinch of nutmeg. Don't overdo it, nutmeg is quite strong. And then 2 large egg yolks. And some salt and pepper. You're almost done. I mean, it is really just like mashed potatoes, but when you make these, you're gonna be really excited because they just feel like so much more special than mashed potatoes. And like I mentioned before, completely make ahead. Stir quickly so the egg yolk doesn't have time to start cooking. You don't want little chunks of cooked egg yolk in there. Now these get dolloped on a baking sheet. So this baking sheet has a piece of parchment on it that's been buttered. So butter ahead of time, and then you want to dollop your mixture on. You have to fit 8 on here, so use your spacing wisely. That dollop might be too big, we'll see. Now what I like to do is make a little well in these so that it holds the gravy, because that's the best part, right? You get the gravy and the mashed potatoes together. So shape your dollops and then use the back of a spoon to make a little well. These need to freeze for at least 15 minutes before you brush them with an egg wash, so get them in the freezer. For a beautiful golden appearance, whisk together 1 egg yolk and a tablespoon of cream to brush over the top of your Duchess potatoes. Have your oven preheating to 450 and then bake these guys for 15 minutes. They should be nice and heated through. You might want to give yourself 20 or 25 just to be safe, but you can cook them straight from frozen right into the oven. Look at that. Oh, so Duchessy. Delicious and golden, a completely make-ahead version of mashed potatoes for this holiday season.